Hello everybody and welcome back to me, Dave Pumphouse, and D-Day, the IKS. It's 10:30 in the morning. We've just had our reports. A few people have been coming in and telling me where some of these brigades are. And as always, the 51st surpasses all expectations. I think it's just the fact that he's got no resistance against him. But the 152nd Brigade has gone all the way to Sartilly. We had these orange arrows basically saying where they needed to be by lunchtime. It's 10:30 in the morning. These guys have had a hell of a march, playing Bonnie Dundee all the way down, and maybe even a bit of Highland Laddie. But yeah, they've reported that they're on the outskirts of Sartilly. These brigades move hell of a fast, faster than I would have anticipated. Like, it's not exactly easy ground either. But there's just nothing here. But yeah, they've encountered an unknown force in Sartilly. The division commander for 51st has said he's going to be ordering some artillery to bombard it. Minus points for civilian damage there. I'd rather we just storm the village rather than bombard it. But yeah, never mind. The 153rd. We haven't heard from him lately, but if he's on the same kind of trajectory, we can maybe think he's over by, where was it? Le Jean de Champs. He's probably around here somewhere. Let's not worry about it too much. The 154th has reported that he's just about to assault Gavray, so he's made some good time. I think that's the brigade under Lake. He was supposed to be the 51st Division commander, and then he dropped out, but maybe he just demoted himself and said, you know what, I just want to be at the front for once. So yeah, he's made some good time. So maybe by 11, half 11, Gavray will be taken. We did order the 51st Division's engineers to maybe go up to Brahill. They should be there. And I think that was probably a good move, because we might actually ask the 51st to send them over to the Seine River to see if they can assist in some kind of crossing, because I don't know if these bridges have been blown. Information is a little bit scarce, but the 50th Division is still trying to cross the Seine River. They have encountered a force at Hyenville, and would you believe it? And this was the kicker for me. I was like, oh my god, really? So the 69th Brigade took Montmartin-sur-Mer about 7 o'clock maybe, and their orders were to go up to Coutances. So whether they got here and this bridge was blown, we don't know, but they decided to head east via Hyenville and go up to Coutances. So they've kind of gone, I mean, send one or two battalions, sure, because they were supposed to split, but I would have rather them split it. But apparently the whole bloody brigade is on the outsides of this, on the west side of the Seine River trying to cross into High-Anville. Apparently there's a little bit of an artillery duel going on. The 51st Division commander basically said the only report that he got is artillery fire, stay away. What does that even mean? Nobody knows. It must be incoming. Yeah, so the Germans are defending this river quite well, and we've got a little bit of a pocket forming. I don't know whether to tell the 50th to maybe move his tanks round to Gavray, maybe even Gozalin here, and see if they can try and cross one of these bridges, see if that's open. But I don't know, I mean, because the information is so scarce coming from some of these brigades as to what's blown and what's not. Why haven't they crossed? The 231st is still at Serenice, so I guess these bridges have been blown as well. Pretty tough for the old 50th at the moment, I think. But yeah. But here's the thing. So 69th Brigade, as they didn't move up to Coutances via the north and decided to go east and then got stuck, the 131st Brigade, or as we are calling them, first battle group, took Coutances at about, when was it? 8:30. And their orders were to continue, here it comes, to Marigny. And they've reported to their division commander that they are imminently outside Marigny. Now you see the problem we have here. We commended the 131st for his efforts, but it does leave us with a bit of a problem, because Marigny to High-Anville is about 20 kilometers. We have a giant hole in our line. Now if the 69th were here, maybe we'd feel a little bit better about it, but they're not. They're here. So that's a worry. That's a worry that, you know, if there's any Germans along here, they can cut off the 131st and they'd be surrounded. So that's a bit of a problem we're going to have to solve. So we basically just told the Canadians, just land now. Just land now. Get it done. Get it over and done with. And just and try and support the 7th. 22nd Brigade, the second battle group, as we're calling them. Don't know where they are. He has to report it in to his division commander. No one knows what's going on with him. I mean, if he's moving as fast as these guys, I mean, he's probably around here somewhere. But here's the thing. So we've got the 9th Brigade moving up. Last time we saw Chimpy and his 9th Brigade was about 7:30, I think. Maybe even 8. Told him to move on Perrier. He's told us that the Scottish Borderers, 1st Battalion, are up near Hoogville. So that's them. And the Ulsters and what was it? Yeah, Royal Ulster Rifles and the Lincolnshire battalions were in the Blingard Heights. So there's a bit of a hill here. So they're moving kind of nicely. They'll get to Perrier by lunch. they'll get to Perrier by lunch, I'm sure. So they're more or less on time. Our blessed 185th. Again, still haven't heard from him. Got no idea what's going on with him. Has he crossed the river at Marseille? Don't know. Nobody knows. We hope so. But good old 8th Brigade says he's moving on La Haye de Putes. So he's probably going to take that by lunchtime. So that's all good. We're on time mostly, but yeah, now the problem is getting 50th across this river here, and just closing this gap. But yeah, poor old 131st. We've told them to stop. Just stop at Marigny and then wait for the Canadians. We had a little bit of a chat with Sergey about that as well. He wants us to continue to St. Lo. You know, he said more mistakes have been made about, you know, stopping armour. You know, he kind of gave us Dunkirk as a example of that. But I reckon if they move, they'll get there by what, 12? Hell, they might even get there by 11, half 11. But one brigade against however big 21st Panzer is. Sergey says it's worth it to take St. Lo and make it fought over. I mean, they're the desert rats. Yeah, don't chuck away the desert rats. I think it's best to hold them at Marigny. I really do. I don't think sending them into St. Lo just because it's a prize to be taken is worth throwing away half of the desert rats. Presuming that 21st Panzer is coming this way. I mean, they could be trying to cross one of these bridges up here. Yeah, it's the fact that we're not really getting much from the Americans either. I'd really like to know where the Americans are up to inform my decision a bit. I mean, if the 82nd, I mean, if they're moving as far or as fast as some of these guys, they did land at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it took them 2 hours to get sorted. They could be at Le Creterie already. Seems plausible. And maybe 21st Panzer is going after them rather than us. But yeah, that's the big question mark. But we've begged Eisenhower and High Command for some air recon around here. We did actually order some at what, 8:30? So some tactical bombing of Hyenville to assist the crossing. So I wonder how that worked out. But I guess it didn't do much if they're blocking a whole brigade. But I mean, it could be an entire division. It could be, well, maybe even 1 or 2 brigades. Yeah, this is down here is free. I mean, maybe, yeah, let's say like 3rd Fallschirmjäger had 3 brigades. I mean, we knew that there was something up in Marseille. We knew that something was down here. What, 1 brigade spread out along here? Maybe another brigade here, and then whatever else down here. But there's nothing down here, so yeah, it's kind of difficult when you don't really have any news coming from the front about what they're facing. It's quite a challenge, quite tough. But yeah, going forward in the next hour, and maybe I'll think about it for later today about what to do. But I've kind of told, I mean, I've told 7th Armoured Division Commander to hold at Marigny. I think it would be a mistake just to rush them in, just to take it, especially when their support hasn't even landed yet. Because the plan was that there would be some resistance along these parts, but resistance has been so sieve-like. It's like water through a colander, it seems, with the 7th Armoured. Christ almighty. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about it, eh? Southern flank. Yeah. I mean, brigades don't go where they're supposed to go. It's a funny one. It's still 10:30, and we had an update over on Friday. Yeah, we were at work yesterday, and some reports started coming back after we made the video beforehand, about 22nd. They are at Munville de Blingard and have some enemies here. So that's quite an interesting turn of events, because they landed up here at the telegraph station. They must have just come down this road, gone through 9th Brigade, and are here. So they've made that landing in an hour. So yeah, that, I mean, this must have slowed them down a bit, I would think. So yeah, they're at Munville de Blingard. They've got some troops over here. We knew that the last time we had some reconnaissance at the beginning of the game, we knew that there were some troops down in Saint-Sauveur, then Delin as well. So they'll be going through this route, and then they'll be coming up here through Figueres and then onto La Riviere. But when we were actually commuting into work on Friday, we actually had an ingenious thought. We figured that it's probably going to take a while for any plane to set sail over the channel, go over to Saint-Lô and fly back and tell them what they saw. So we were thinking, how can we get eyes on Saint-Lô? And it hit me whilst on the train. It's likely that 1st Battle Group, 131st, has some Daimler armoured cars. So we spoke to the umpires, and we also sent a message to 7th Division Commander, and we said, tell 131st if he's got any Daimler armoured cars that we're going to represent with a pawn here, send him down the road to Marigny and get some eyes on Saint-Lô. Now, I was looking at the map here. Here would be a perfect spot to send them, or even here, because if you can see, you've got the elevations. So it's about, what, 50? It's fairly flat ground along here. And as you can see, what this would be, trying to figure out some kind of elevation. That's 100. That's 100. So this is a perfect vantage point to send some Daimler armoured cars to look over Saint-Lô. He could probably send them into the town, but we want to know when 21st Pans are here. So if you think about it, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 kilometers. They can get there in 20 minutes. Easy. Especially if there's no Germans poking around here. Set them up there. Bam. Perfect spot. Why not? And yeah, like I said, we spoke to the umpires, and they said, yeah, you can certainly do that. It's certainly in your repertoire. And I immediately thought, yeah, great, because we can't afford to wait for some Oxbridge graduate in a pink Spitfire to fly over St. Lo and give us information when some yeomanry from Hull in a Daimler can get the information back far more quicker. So that was quite smart for me to think about that. I think I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I think that was quite an ingenious thing to use. Apparently these divisions have all got some kind of armoured car recon unit that they could use if they wanted to. And now the news is out, I'm sure they'll start using them, but for these purposes, yeah, he's going to be maybe here, maybe here, looking over the town of St. Lo to tell us what's going on. Perfect. We'll see what they bring back for the 11 o'clock turn. Ciao for now.